September 2020. Now you need to do two things. One, put some pressure on your local masjids. Tell your masjid, tell your institutes, wake up. Tell your madrasas that, these are real issues. These are real issues starting at the age of 4. That's the reality. You can't be idealistic anymore. You can't start speaking to your children about the birds and the bees when they're 13 years old. When school is indoctrinating them from the age of 4, you're going to speak to them when they're 13. As much as we would like to, but they get raped of their innocence when they start at the age of 4. The second thing you need to do is your counselors, your MPs, go and speak to them that you're seriously concerned about this issue. Because if you don't, then others will. And here's your test. Here's a test for all of us. Are those who believe in Allah, listen to this. Are those who believe in Allah more motivated than those who have a certain perversion and they want to push that perversion? The question is, are they more motivated than you? And if they end up being more motivated than you and I, who say La ilaha illallah, then there's a serious problem. Really, there's a serious problem. Their iman on what they believe in, it motivates them more than it motivates you and I. There's a serious problem. So that's number 2. Number 3, get to your schools and create a relationship with your schools. Not only when it is time to complain are you there, create a relationship with your head teacher. Be people who do something positive within the community. So when you leave this, when you walk out of here today, sit down, and there will be, mashallah, some amazing enlightening speeches. Mine is just for barakah. When you leave here, Monday morning, organize yourselves, go to your schools, not as groups, one by one, but also organize and speak to your teachers, speak to the head teacher, and do something positive in the school. We are there to complain. We are there to, when there's an issue, but we're never there before that. So when you come and complain, the teacher will say, oh, here they are, they complain again. But if you spend these 2 years doing something really positive in your school, then alhamdulillah. Then you can say, look, and listen, people speak about it later on. The guidelines which have been given to the school are very broad currently. And every school is, to a degree, left to deal with it how they want currently. They want more clarification. So if you are involved in your school, inshallah, you can have an element of influence. Listen, this is an obligation upon us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the Qawm Fir'aun. He says Fir'aun's people, the Israelites, saw the dhulm of Fir'aun. They saw him persecuted. They saw him doing wrong. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? After even seeing him doing wrong, Allah said, فَاسْتَخَفَّ قَوْمُ. His qawm remained quiet. They remained quiet. They saw what he was doing. Look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا فَاسِقِينَ. Allah says, these group of people who saw wrong and did nothing to change it. Allah called them a qawm, a nation of flagrant transgressors. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us a story. He told us a story of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to send adhab on a particular place. So Allah wants to send punishment on a particular place. So they say, oh Allah, but there is a person who lives in that place that he does not even disobey you for even the blinking of an eye. He's in your worship, 24/7. Everything he does for you, O Allah, is entire days for you. Never disobeys you. Worships you all the time. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah said, begin the adhab with him. Start from him. Why? Because the Messenger of Allah said that this person, he would see sins being committed, transgressions, but never did the color on his skin ever change. Never did he have a frown on his forehead. Brothers, sisters, here are the stories about a person who was just an individual. This impacts my children and your children. My children and your children. The future of our children. You know the greatest sadaqah jariyah you will leave. You know when you talk about sadaqah jariyah, people say, yeah, sadaqah jariyah, I want to build a well, I want to build a masjid. You know your greatest sadaqah jariyah for you is your children. Subhanallah. That's your greatest sadaqah jariyah. Imam Shafi says, when a person dies, either his good lives on or his evil lives on. His good, he says he lies in his grave, his good lives on. His good is his children. Or he lies in his grave and his children have no connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And his evil lives on. Somebody sent around a video today, maybe somebody saw it, about, I think it's in Sheffield, where the father dies and they wanted to cremate him. Did anybody see that video? The children wanted to cremate the father. And they had to send, solicitors, letters, etc. So brothers, sisters, you standing there too, or you just tired of sitting down? Tayyib. And I'm coming off, don't worry, inshallah. Brothers, sisters, don't wait for others to do the work. Don't wait for Zaheer Mahmoud to do the work. Don't wait for Sheikh Aslam to do the work. You do the work. You go to your grave, I go to my grave. You know, the problem is we're always waiting for somebody else to do the work. Somebody else has to say the word and then we want to follow. If nobody else is doing it, I always say this. I say, if tomorrow, no Maulana, no Sheikh, nobody else ever mentions Masjid al-Aqsa or Palestine, it's still an obligation upon you. Why? Because Allah mentions it in His book. His beloved sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned it in their books. These issues are clear cut. If nobody else does it, you do it. And by Allah, if no change happens, even if the situation gets worse, your reward is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What made Abu Bakr special? He gave sacrifice when nobody else was ready to give the sacrifice. What made Khadija radiallahu anha special? She sacrificed when nobody else sacrificed. Aisha radiallahu anha says, the woman, the wife I was most jealous of was Khadija. Although Khadija had passed away, all the others were alive, she passed away. She said, this was the wife I was most jealous of. To the degree, she said, one day her sister knocked on the door and the Messenger of Allah said, Allah mahala, oh Allah, make it hala. Make it Khadija's sister. So Aisha radiallahu anha says, Ghaira got the better of me. And I said, O Messenger of Allah, when will you stop remembering this old lady of Quraysh? The one with red gums, meaning she was so old that her teeth had fallen out. And Allah has given you better than her. Allah has given you better than her. The Prophet ﷺ turned to Aisha radiallahu anha and he said, Aisha, Allah never gave me better than Khadija. When nobody else was ready to believe in me, she believed in me. When nobody else was ready to take me in, she took me in. When all others shunned me, she was the one who embraced me. When nobody else was ready to spend upon me, she spent upon me. The Messenger of Allah said,